Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is Ashley Hannah. I'm the Moody Reader. And to be quite frank, I am not feeling on fire for reading. I've been reading. I have finished like 5 or 6 books this month. So, woo! But also, I had a lot of books on my TBR that have not gotten read. And I'm just not in the mood for them. You know, life is lifing. Say a prayer for me, I'll say a prayer for you. So I'm not feeling like reading fantasy books, big chunky ones. Although, who's to say if we're gonna get to Game of Thrones? We might, we may not. But in the interim, I was tagged by Miss Chloe Frizzle to do a tag. One that she created herself. So snaps for her creating a tag because, you know what? Creativity's hard sometimes. And also, I like the questions. There are enough of them that I feel like it's worth my time doing. Because sometimes tags have like 2 questions and you're like, well, that could have just been a blog post. But it's called the Books I Want to Read, But I'm Reluctant. Otherwise known as the Reluctant Booktube. No, scratch that. Otherwise known as the Reluctant TBR tag. And now, I don't have the most cohesive Goodreads on the block. I really don't. Also, y'all, Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck, I say his name weird, I know. Ben Affleck are getting divorced. Who didn't see that coming? Anyway, my Goodreads. Back on track. My Goodreads is not very cohesive. I have a want to read section, or otherwise known as my TBR section. It's outdated. I was going through it today and there were books that I've already read on it. So I don't know what was happening there. And there are books that I really just saw the cover and I clicked want to read. So it's not the best and most accurate description of my TBR personally, but it's still something on Goodreads that I used. So I pinged it up. You saw it. And I just think that these questions are good. They're nice. I liked it. Thanks for tagging me. So I will have Miss Chloe Frizzle linked down below. Go check her out. She's awesome. Okay, so all of these questions are basically, you know, you could want to read them, but you probably won't. You're reluctant. You're feeling hesitant. You're in the hesitation station. So let's get into the questions. There are 16, I believe, and the first one is number 1. It was a soft DNF. And Chloe is calling me out right out the gate because I don't think I DNF books. In fact, I am a sore loser. I don't like to quit. I can't quit while I'm ahead, and I cannot just call it when it needs to be called. So I will DNF books, or I'll just put them down and say I'll pick it up later, when really it was that I DNF'd it and didn't want to finish it. So a book that is a soft DNF for me, I have many. The most recent one, though, was What Lies Between Us, I believe is what it's called, by John Mars. And I have no idea why I haven't continued reading this book. I have no idea. I got it on Kindle Unlimited, and it was also a combination of ebook and audiobook, so that's why I'm really unsure about why I didn't finish it, because this is the easiest book to finish. I love John Mars. I loved The One and The Passengers. I love his, like, what would you call it? I mean, it's the real world, but like the way he writes his worlds, his dystopians, they're thrillers, they're amazing. I will say that maybe I haven't finished this one because it's not really like the world we have in The One or The Passengers. It's not really like that, and so I was expecting some of that, and I didn't get it. So who knows if I'll pick it back up. There's also no real urgency for me to finish it because I don't own it. It's on Kindle Unlimited, so there's no real time constraint. Like, if it were for the library, I would be like, okay, you have to read this or else who knows when you'll get it again. But it's not, so I won't. I'll probably never read it. Okay, next question. Number 2. You read another book by that author and didn't enjoy it. This is many a book if I'm being very honest. So basically, I'm going to list authors that I've read from and didn't enjoy one of their books, and so I probably won't like any of the other ones. And then I'll name an actual book that this pertains to. So authors are like Mary Kubica. I think I did read another Mary Kubica. I think I read Local Woman Missing, and I liked it. But the first Mary Kubica I read was, I don't even know what the name was. It was this book. It was so boring. It bored me to tears. And Local Woman Missing almost did the same. But then the end did redeem it a little bit, but only a little bit. I still give it 3 stars. So I don't think I'll ever read another Mary Kubica, even though I did pick one up from the library book sale. Oops. Another book, another author that I'll probably never read another one from is Colleen Hoover. I read my first Colleen Hoover this year, and I had been seeing Miss Colleen Hoover for, at this point, I think a decade. I think the first book I saw that she had written was Slammed. None of her books have ever spoken to me. And then I read Too Late this year, and I wish I didn't. It was really bad. There's a vlog where I read that book, and I'll link it there. Yeah, it was just, it seemed like it was it seemed like a parody of a thriller, or I don't know. It just seemed like a parody. It seemed like it wasn't serious. It could not be serious. So I will never read It Ends With Us. Sorry. And then another author, Deanna Raybourn. I don't love the the Veronica Speedwell series. I don't like it. It doesn't call to me. So I'll probably never read another book by her again. But if I'm talking about like a specific book that I probably won't read because I didn't enjoy another one, I've seen hype for this. I'm probably not ever going to read a novel love story. I read, and that's by Ashley Poston, I believe. I read The 7-Year Slip, and I wanted to see why people liked it, and I couldn't see it, so I'll probably never read another book from that author again. Question number 3. It's brand new, and you don't know when you'll get around to it. Easy. The Familiar. Don't own the book. It was on my anticipated reads for this year, I think only because I like Leigh Bardugo's work, but I just don't know if I'll ever read it. Like, the synopsis itself doesn't interest me, and I'll probably never read it. Question number 4. The cover is painfully ugly. I think most covers nowadays are pretty ugly, pretty uggo, but something on my physical TBR is either Dark Age, which is that book with the snakes on it. I don't really like that. Or Game of Thrones. It's just really like dad fiction-y. Not a fan. But if I were reading books based on their covers, I would never read. Okay, question number 5. It's a classique book that might be good for you, but you're not that interested. I hate to say it, especially because it is on my TBR for the year, but The Count of Monte Cristo, and I've tried to read it several times. Like, I've started that book over 3 times, 3 separate times in the last 2 years, and I'm just not into it. I'm not interested. And I don't know, okay, this is for you guys. Do I just need to get further into it? Or is it just not for me? Did you read The Count of Monte Cristo? Did you like it? Let me know. Question number 6. It's humongous and intimidating. I am not intimidated by chunky books. I love a chunky book. In fact, the bigger the better. The bigger the better. But a book that I am quite intimidated by, not because of its size, but because of the fact that I read the first book semi-recently, and I can't remember a single thing about it besides the fact that I did read it. That's the only fact I know. And that is Deadhouse Gates by, I don't even know what his name is. This is his name. This is the book. I read the first book, Gardens of the Moon. I was about to say Secret Garden. Gardens of the Moon. Garden of the Moons. Whichever one. I read the first book last year, and I enjoyed it. but it was confusing as hell. And right after, like, I'm not even kidding, the day afterwards, it was all gone. I don't remember a single thing. I don't remember a single plot point. And I hate when that happens, because it's like, I did read it. I promise you I did. But I don't remember anything. So I am scared to read the sequel because I know nothing about it. But maybe that'll be fun. Okay, question number 7 is, you feel like you need to read it because it's hyped, in parentheses, but you're not excited. Oof. Prior to today, where I have read Powerless, I would have answered that because that's a really hyped book. I read it. It was terrible. Here's the video where I read it. But I did read that one. So the book I have to answer this question is actually Parable of the Sower by Octavia E. Butler. And this is a book that I'm not excited to read, but it is very hyped, and it'll be hyped for probably till the end of time. Excuse me. Is because I've tried to read this one too. Like, I started this book maybe a few months ago, and they were just like walking around the town, and it's dystopian, and I love dystopians, but I'm just not excited for it. So I'm thinking maybe I just need to like let it sit on the back burner for a second, and then when I'm in the mood for it, because that's a big thing. You know, I got to be in the mood for a certain book, or else it ain't happening. Ooh, kind of pertaining to that sentiment. Question number 8. You need to be in a specific mood to read it. Story of my life. And this is going to sound awful because I'm currently more than halfway through it. It is 11/22/63 by Stephen King, by Miss Stevana King. I was really feeling it. I was like, ooh, intrigue. Me. But then, you know, the book, Stephen King, he broke the barriers with this one. He said, I'm a horror novel writer, but I'm going to write horror, historical fiction, sprinkle in some romance, a little mystery, adventure, and fantasy. And I was loving some of these things, and we're in a section of the book where we're leaning more historical fiction, which is what the book is about, and I'm just snoozing right now. So I'm trying to read it, but I'm just not in the mood for it anymore. But I have gotten really far into it. I've made a big dent, okay? And one day we'll read it. One day we'll finish it. Question number 9. You're on the fence about continuing the series. Easy. The Red Rising Saga by Pierce Brown. I am of the opinion that sometimes you need to stop writing a book series. I'm currently on book number 5, and I still have to read number 6 as well. And apparently there's a 7th book. Pierce, this is my PSA to you. Stop it. Stop writing in this world, please. I feel this way about Tahara Mafi with the Shatter Me series. Don't get me wrong, I didn't like this book series. I didn't like books number 1 or 2, but I liked the way that book 3 played out. And then she announced books 4, 5, and 6. Sprinkle in a novella here and there. And did I read books 4, 5, and 6? Yes. Did I own them? Yes. Did I unhaul them? Yes. Because it was just too much. Just quit while you're ahead, please. Or write another book. Like, just write something else. Unless you're Cassandra Clare, you can write as many books in the Shadowhunters world, universe, as you want. I know I'm hypocritical. I'm a big fat hippo. Next question. Number 10. It's been on your TBR for a very long time. I think the answer to this question is the Daughter of Dr Moro by Sylvia Moreno Garcia. She is a hit or miss author for me. I really loved The Beautiful Ones. That book is like a masterpiece. But then I also really hated Velvet Was the Night. So she has ups and downs for me, and I still need to read Gods of Jade and something or other. But I was planning on reading the Daughter of Dr Moro, and then I didn't. So So yes, it's been on my TBR for ever since the book came out. Question number 11. It's a genre outside of your comfort zone. Okay, I feel like realistically, the only book that I could think of would have to be a poetry novel, because I don't read poetry. I read basically anything else. So, but I don't have a particular poetry book in mind because it would never be on my TBR in the first place. I don't read poetry, so why would I put it on my TBR? You feel me? But I will say that something that's like on the edge of my comfort zone is horror novels, like body horror, stuff like that. So anything Grady Hendrix. So my best friend's Exorcism, I don't think that it's going to be like crazy for me to read it, but it's like, it's on the edge. Like I said, it's on the precipice of not being my comfort zone. But I like horror novels, so I don't think I answered the question succinctly. Next question. Number 12. Despite owning it, you'll likely never read it. In parentheses, it can include unhauled books and library loans. Okay. Any book I own, I am going to read it. If I unhauled it, it means I probably did read it and didn't like it. And library loans are... I don't ever remember what I've borrowed from the library. But I do remember that on Libby, I did check out both the ebook and the audio version of Where the Crawdads Sing by this author. What's her face? See, I don't even know who this is by. I know it was really hyped back in, like, I'm going to take a guess. Back in 2017, it was really hyped. But I've tried to read it, and I just don't like it. So I've decided that I'm never going to read it, because I don't like it. What's a hyped book that you guys started and just could not finish? Let me know down below. That's the question of the video. Hyped book that you started and could not finish, and you're now feeling like an alien because you have the unpopular opinion. Okay, next question is number 13. It's only out of obligation to a book club / friend's recommendation. Ooh, I'm not allowed to join book clubs. In fact, if a book club had a home base, my picture would be on the back wall because they'd be like, don't let this chick in. She will sign up for your book club and then she will not read it and she will have nothing productive to add to the conversation. Yeah, I don't join, I have joined book clubs and I can't stay in them because when I get a book, when, you know, the book club gets a book to read, for whatever reason, I could have already had this on my TBR, and the minute that it becomes a group activity, because I've realized that reading is a solitary activity for me, the moment it becomes a group activity is the moment it becomes required reading, and then I just shut down, and I don't even want to look at the book. But a book that I did read for a book club, which was like an Instagram or Bookstagram book club that was really chill, really low key. In fact, like I feel like I was one of the people that didn't add anything to the group chat, and I just like messaged when I finished it. And it was what was it called? I think it's called Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell. Is that what it's called? By Susan Clark. Don't remember her name. This is the book. I read that book for a book club, and pretty much everybody in the book club hated it. I was indifferent because there were moments that I liked and there were moments that I really did not like because they were boring. It was very well researched. It was based in France during like the Napoleonic War. So if you don't like historical fiction, it's not the book for you. But it was very whimsical. It was like the definition of whimsy. And the book did put me into a slump. So take that how you will. And number 14. Negative reviews have made you less excited. Okay, low key. Negative reviews make me excited to read them, especially if they're divisive. If it's divisive, I'll probably love it. I'll probably give it 5 stars. But a book that has negative reviews, so I said before in this video that I recently read Powerless by Lauren Roberts. And I was never planning on reading the sequel, which is Reckless. But seeing all of the reviews that people have done, I'm just like, no. In fact, I recently watched a review, because I don't care about spoilers if I'm not going to read the book. So I recently watched a review done by, I don't remember the creator's name, but I'll put her right here and I'll link her down below. She did a great review of Reckless. I thought it was really like spot on, even though I never read the book. And she's very articulate, and I think that's because she's like learned. So yeah, I liked watching that review. I love watching negative reviews. I don't understand how people cannot, like, I understand how people could not want to watch a negative review, but I think they're just so funny, because negative reviews, you have to, like, if you're really negative about it, you have to actually pick out points and like make them valid as to why you didn't like them. And it's kind of like a debate. But yeah, next question. Not the last question. Number 15. It hasn't come out yet. Ooh. Okay, so I don't typically have my finger on the pulse for new releases. Don't know why that is. I think publishers probably should just like email me and let me know, and then I'll do their PR work for them. But a book that is coming out soon. Okay. First of all, I have 2 answers for this question. The first answer is like, I guess less basic would be the term for this, but the sequel to The Will of the Many by James Islington. How does he say his name? I believe he's Australian. Yeah, that sequel, cannot wait for it. I will definitely need to reread the first book before I read the second one, but I'm awaiting it on pins and needles. I can't wait. And then the more basic answer to this question is, what's the book called? It's called Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins. I cannot wait for this book to come out. I don't know what it's about. I don't think I want to know what it's going to be about. All I know is that it's a prequel, and I'm excited. I am the epitome of excitement. Can't wait. March can't come quick enough. All right, and then question number 16, which is just to tag 5 friends. So the 5 friends I am tagging, which means you must do this tag or else you can't come to my birthday party, which is September 12th. You're all invited. So number 1, I tag Nell Diamond, Courtney from Tangible Reads. I tag Bin Chicken Books. I tag her. I tag Nikki Reads Books. Just recently found her channel. We connected on our hatred of Powerless. And then I also tag Catherine, the Constant Reader. You are tagged as well. So if you made it to the end of this video, please give it a like, subscribe if you like, and I'll try to put out more videos. Like I said, life is lifing, and you honestly don't want to know what is happening, but but I will see you guys in the next video. The emoji to comment today is, what's a good reluctant emoji? Do those even exist? Please hold. I'm looking for the epitome of reluctance. Let's see here. What if I just type in reluctant? That didn't do anything. Well, let's just look. Let's see. Okay, the epitome of reluctance today in my dictionary will be the upside down smiling emoji. That is the one you must comment if you got it this far into the video. Okay. Bye.